Hello everybody, thank you for joining me today for another Twilight Zone video in my Twilight Zone ranking series where I rank every episode of the original Twilight Zone from my least favorite to my favorite. Today I'm going to be talking about number 97, Hocus Pocus and Frisby, written by Rod Serling based on a story by Frederick Lewis Fox and directed by Lamont Johnson. This is a season 3 episode, and as always there will be spoilers. So Hocus Pocus and Frisby, kind of like the last episode I talked about, is an episode that I enjoy watching. There's nothing about it that really stands out as an episode that I love, but there's nothing I dislike about it either. It's just kind of an entertaining episode to watch. This episode is definitely kind of a clever twist on the old boy who cried wolf story, kind of like a Twilight Zone version of that, I guess you could say. So Hocus Pocus and Frisby is about a man who's named Frisby, and he works at a service station, and he also likes to tell a lot of stories to his friends, lots and lots of stories, and they're not exactly all the truth either. Also, a group of aliens becomes involved, and everything kind of goes from there. So Andy Devine is perfectly cast as Frisby. I can't imagine anybody else in the role or anybody doing a better job than he did. It's the kind of character that could be annoying, but because of the way Andy Devine plays it in such a charming way, and because the character really means no harm with these stories at all, it's hard to really be too upset for this guy. You kind of root for him in a strange kind of way. So this episode starts out with Frisby telling these tales. Lots of them, maybe a few too many. Some are better than others, and his friends certainly don't buy into them at all. So eventually some aliens disguised as people kidnap Frisby because they think he's the smartest human being there is, or at least one of the smartest human beings, because they think all these stories he told are real, being from another place. They don't really understand that he's lying, and they think he has like multiple degrees and has experienced all these things that he talks about, which I thought was a really clever concept that works here. So at this point, Frisby's in space, and he's trying to explain to the aliens that he made all this stuff up, but they just don't get it. They're not buying it because they don't understand Frisby's lying, which I thought was interesting. So eventually this leads to Frisby playing the harmonica, but this has a negative effect on the aliens. We also get a look at the aliens, and I have to say the alien design is interesting. It's kind of creepy for a lighter toned comedy episode, and I thought the design was pretty great. So eventually this allows Frisby to escape, and when he gets back to the store, his friends are all there ready to throw a surprise party for his birthday. Frisby seems happy, and he tells his story of what happened, and we know it really happened because we saw it, but no one believes him because of all the tales that he told in the past. So I guess everything is back to normal. Everything turns out okay for Frisby. So this is just a harmless, charming episode. You know, I thought it was kind of clever, the plot. The episode does take a while to get going, and a few of the stories are a bit annoying, maybe a bit too long. But overall, I do think this is a pretty solid and amusing episode of The Twilight Zone. It's not the deepest episode ever, and I don't really consider it a classic, but it's a solid, entertaining watch and a pretty decent comedy episode for The Twilight Zone, and that's why it comes in at number 97. As always, feel free to leave me a comment on what you thought of this episode, if you liked it or not. Thanks for your support, and thanks for watching.